Just look at this. In Armenia, a Russian fighter jet crashed right into a pole.
We are a great country.
Last night, the Ukrainian armed forces blew up a Russian fuel train right in occupied Jankoy. Nato is at Russia's border and the Kremlin is silent.
Wait, does that mean Vladimir Vladimirovich is afraid?
Coward, a true coward, and indeed a complete coward. Who is the real master of the Kremlin? It is not Putin, but rather Lavrov, who is the focus here.
Hello friends, the worst nightmare of the nasty little Putin. NATO's army at the border with Russia.
And the Kremlin is silent.
Of course it's silent. They're afraid of Trump. The bunker maniac has buried his head in the sand.
Wait, does that mean Vladimir Vladimirovich is afraid?
Yes, Vladimir Vladimirovich is afraid. US troops near the border, that's no small matter. Here are the details.
On August 25th, Finland, together with the US and Europe, began large-scale exercises right at Russia's borders. They will last until September 12th and include practicing strikes and defense. But Moscow is silent. Not a word from the propaganda. No reaction from Putin. So, when NATO is right next door, it's better to hide?
Well, of course, Putin hid. He is a coward, and a coward. Exactly. And so Putin, the little coward, the gray little maniac, decided to suck up to Trump. Otherwise, things are starting to smell like trouble.
I truly believe that a significant and hopeful light at the very end of this long and challenging tunnel has finally and clearly appeared before us. And just now, we have successfully concluded a very productive, highly substantive, and remarkably frank and open meeting that took place in Alaska, which was a crucial step forward in our ongoing discussions.
Wow, he really tried to suck up, but it didn't work.
I can't hear you.
Then listen up. Not only is the US Army near the border, but now there's also an American reconnaissance plane over Sochi.
What is an American spy plane doing off the coast of Sochi? The P-8M Poseidon patrol aircraft, one of the main submarine hunters, entered the Black Sea and flew right past Russia's Olympic capital.
This is called playing mind games. But what's the point of all this? Why did Trump suddenly get so angry at Putin? Well, it's obvious. Trump needs to end the war in Ukraine as quickly as possible. There's the Nobel Prize and all that.
If it weren't for me, there would be 6 major wars going on in the world right now.
And the nasty little Putin wants to fight until the mausoleum. I mean, until the very end. They say he even sent a double to Alaska.
Putin was the first to reach out his hand, but Trump quickly pulled his back. Even the cameras felt the chill.
But the most important thing is this. After the meeting between the president of Ukraine and Trump at the White House, Putin basically started running away from Zelensky, avoiding him.
Zelensky is ready to sit down at the negotiating table. But where is Putin? In Rome, in Geneva, or under Orban's wing in Budapest? Europe is waiting, the world is pressing. And the Kremlin just mumbles and dodges the question.
Well, they won't be able to dodge the question for long. Trump has prepared a new surprise for Putin.
Senator Lindsey Graham announced Trump is preparing to lift restrictions on Ukraine's use of long-range missiles against Russia.
Sounds impressive. But here's what that will actually mean in practice.
Kyiv is being given a free hand, and Moscow should expect new strikes.
Oh, by the way, about Moscow.
Moscow burned and sank. Moscow became food for the sharks.
Well, food for the sharks, that's for sure. Things are really lively in Moscow.
An explosion on Lubyanka. There was an explosion near the FSB headquarters in Moscow.
Come on, it's better to see something once than hear about it 100 times, right? Well, this is just hilarious. To start with, in Russia itself, they're telling this story. One person died in an explosion of a gas cylinder at the central Detsky Mir in Moscow. Yeah, Detsky Mir. But a gas cylinder in the center of Moscow? It's kind of hard to believe. And the next day, new details emerge.
In Moscow, at Detsky Mir on Lubyanka, right across from the FSB building, there was an explosion.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Did you hear that? The explosion happened near the main building of the Russian FSB. Now that's more interesting, isn't it?
And do you know what our people call that? A pop. For them, someone died from a pop. They're feeding us a story about a gas cylinder for balloons. Are you serious? That someone could die from a helium tank? That gas doesn't even burn. There was something else there, and they're hiding it. It was an explosion.
Yes, an explosion near the FSB headquarters in the center of Moscow. At the same time, a 55-year-old FSB officer, Alexei Titov, was killed. Again, this is the center of Moscow. Not a single camera captured the explosion. What a coincidence, right? I don't think so.
This is a total failure of their security. And to avoid admitting they screwed up, they make up a story about balloons and call the explosion a pop. Their reputation is more important to them than the truth or a human life.
But the fun, by the way, isn't just happening in Moscow.
The heart of Russia's gas empire is on fire.
Yeah, what fun indeed. And supposedly in Russia's cultural capital, St. Petersburg, and in the Leningrad region as well.
Footage has emerged of a strike on Russia's gas giant in Ust-Luga. On the night before Independence Day, Ukrainian drones hit the gas processing facility directly. A powerful explosion and fire. This is already the second SBU strike on this site this year.
They say planes have stopped flying in St. Petersburg. Oh, what a pity. Glory to Ukraine.
Vnukovo is paralyzed. After the nighttime drone attack, St. Petersburg's airport descended into chaos. Dozens of flights have been cancelled. People are sleeping on the floor, and the departure board is lit up in red. This is the biggest transportation collapse in recent years, and it strikes directly at Russia's prestige. What happens next?
And next comes the real news of the day, also about airplanes. A Russian fighter jet crashed into a pole in Armenia. Apparently we're talking about a Russian MiG-type fighter jet. Wait, hold on. How does a fighter jet crash into a pole? That just doesn't happen. Could this be fake?
Just look at this. In Armenia, a Russian fighter jet crashed right into a pole. During towing, the hitch broke, and the 11-ton plane broke through the barrier.
It happens. That's Russia for you. It's really Mordor.
The Russian army has embarrassed itself again. It never ceases to amaze the world with its ridiculous failures.
This is insane. Even the Armenians themselves are honestly shocked.
Arshakunyas poloteum, derivisanaitanga, manferim destume.
Although, in reality, there's nothing surprising about Russian fighter jets crashing in the Caucasus.
I'm a Lek, I'm a Dagestani, I'm a Chechen, Ingush, Russian, Tatar, Jew, Mordvin, Ossetian.
Watch your language! And whoever's called Vasya, it's fine in life.
You're such a loser. What's the point? The thing is, Putin and all his media parrots have long been threatening Azerbaijan with war.
So what's happening with us? We have over 300 kilometers of border with Azerbaijan. Does Azerbaijan want to start military action against us? Go ahead.
And they really got what they asked for. And then the leader of Azerbaijan, Aliyev, clearly stated Baku is ready for war. This message is directed personally at Putin.
Aliyev stated, Azerbaijan does not want war, but at the same time, the country must be ready for it at any moment. Baku is building up its military power, and these are no longer just words about peace. This is preparation for a big game in the Caucasus.
And just imagine, Trump already wants to crush Putin, and now there's also Aliyev. Obviously Putin is in a panic and having a meltdown. Are you in your underwear right now? And do you know what a cowardly maniac does?
Vladimir Putin, in the 9th month of the conflict with Azerbaijan, suddenly decided to send greetings to Ilham Aliyev.
Yeah, to send greetings. He decided to suck up to Aliyev through his wife, Mehriban. God, how pathetic.
The Kremlin's master sent a letter to the wife of Azerbaijan's leader, Mehriban Aliyeva, on the occasion of her birthday.
Aliyev didn't really appreciate this little letter and sent his own fiery greeting to Putin.
According to him, Baku is receiving the most advanced drones, new artillery systems, and is expecting deliveries of new fighter jets.
And here's another great joke. Recently, hackers broke into the Russian propaganda box and started telling the unvarnished truth about Putin.
Putin hasn't fully captured a single region of Ukraine. Ukraine is still independent, but now it can strike any city in Russia. Our children have learned the sound of the air raid siren.
Listen, well done. How accurately they describe everything. Please go on.
1 million soldiers dead, no gasoline, the oil refineries have been destroyed.
Oh well, gasoline in Rashka is a whole separate topic.
And apparently there's no gas at all. Not even a drop. Oh wow, what's going on? It's a mess.
Well, let's talk about gasoline in a few minutes. But for now, the main thing is that Ukraine is bringing Crimea back home.
Last night, the Ukrainian armed forces blew up a Russian fuel train right in occupied Jankoy. At the same time, oil refineries in the Rostov region, drone depots in Donetsk, and a fuel base in Voronezh were hit. Russia is burning on all fronts again.
Every voice matters. Join our community, support independent journalism, and help us bring you the truth from Ukraine. Become a member of Ukraine Today. Join us now.
But that's not even all of it. Putin will now truly feel very, very bad about this whole situation.
This is apparently an adjustment.
No adjustments are needed anymore. Listen to me. Ukraine has begun serial production of drones with a range of over 1,000 kilometers. The new FP-1 drone is capable of flying over 1,000 kilometers. Believe me, friends, it will be very difficult for Russian soldiers.
Ukrainian drones have reached a new level. Now they are capable of dropping even 155mm artillery shells right onto the heads of the occupiers.
Onto the occupiers' heads, literally. Look how beautifully it burns in temporarily occupied Sevastopol. This is the Ukrainian armed forces destroying Russian drone bases. And I'm just curious, do they in the Kremlin really believe that all this is bad news for them about Crimea, huh? They want some action. Action. You're about to get some action, just you wait.
For the first time, the Ukrainian long-range Neptune has been officially shown. This missile can now strike the enemy at a distance of up to 1,000 kilometers.
1,000 kilometers. That's wonderful and more than enough. Both Moscow and Crimea are now in the crosshairs.
Now, for Russia, there is no such thing as a safe distance. Every target is within striking range. Ukraine is reaching a new level in this war.
There are no safe places in Russia, 100%. And also, it turns out that in this so-called oil super mega empire, there's no gasoline right now. Take Primorsky Krai, for example, a line at the gas station. They've fought themselves into this situation.
This is precisely the kind of distinctive line you often see on Melniknaya, a truly remarkable sight. Right there, directly on the main road, it's absolutely unbelievable, truly astonishing.
And this is once again the temporarily occupied Crimea.
And apparently there's no gasoline. Not at all. Oh wow, what's going on? It's crazy.
There's already no gasoline, and the main thing is, there won't be any going forward. And do you know why? I'll tell you.
Russia's oil empire is falling apart at the seams. Ukrainian drones have already put 14% of oil refineries out of commission. Ryazan, Volgograd, and Syzran are paralyzed. There are lines at gas stations, and fuel prices are at record highs.
But you know, the Russian world isn't just about the lack of gasoline, it's also about the lack of even basic water. You get it, right? Now we're going to talk about the so-called DNR. You're right.
There you go. This is how we collect water.
Well, this is what they call a holiday in the so-called DNR. It started to rain, finally it came. Or rather, this is what we've come to. When there's no water in the DNR, we collect water under
The rain. That's how it works. It'll take a while to fill up.
But what else can we do?
I'll have to run. In our way, we flush the toilet like this. I go a lot.
But honestly, for the locals, it's not much fun. They've even started appealing to Putin.
Today we are faced with an outrageous situation, where the inaction and possible corruption of the local DNR authorities threaten the very idea of the Russian world, for which thousands of people have given their lives. Winter is coming.
Winter is coming. It
will be a long one. And you know what the main joke is?
The shocking truth. Why is there no water in Donetsk, and why won't there be any?
It turns out, do you know who is profiting from the water collapse in the so-called republic? The local little Tsar, Deniska Pushilin. That's trash.
Pushilin and his gang are making money off people's thirst. 6 water-selling plants are their personal business. The more people suffer, the fatter their wallets get. And they have no intention of building any new water pipelines.
And you have to understand, Putin and the DNR, they definitely won't help. He's got other things on his mind right now.
The Kremlin is spouting nonsense again. Now they've declared Estonia the enemy. Supposedly, it's preparing to attack Russia.
Let me put it in plain language. Putin is planning to go to war with Estonia, which is 380 times smaller than Russia.
It's simple. Just like before the war with Ukraine, they're creating the image of an enemy so they can later justify a new order to take Tallinn in 3 days. But we all know how their 3-day special operation ended.
That's right. But Skabiva is practically jumping out of her pants or whatever she's got, insisting that Estonia is the enemy. I mean, this is just insane.
Estonia is ready to launch a preemptive strike against Russia. Estonia. Against Russia. We'll strike first, we'll fight like devils. That's what the headline urges.
Listen, I started wondering, what does Estonia even have to do with this? Right under Putin's nose, something is clearly happening that's not part of the plan.
Who is the real master of the Kremlin? Not Putin, but Lavrov. These words rocked Europe.
But I think this news surprised not only Europe, but each and every one of you personally. Because you're all used to seeing Lavrov like this.
If I had a magnificent horse, that would certainly be something quite remarkable.
If, however, the horse had me, I'd probably be dead, unfortunately.
And now, suddenly, look at this surprise. 75-year-old Lavrov is aiming for the spot of 72-year-old Putin. What is even going on?
By the historic Kursky railway station, I stand, a young and determined individual, ready for whatever the future may hold.
Well, on the one hand, you could say it's kind of hard to believe, but on the other hand, let's listen to some smart people from the European Union.
EU Commissioner Andrius Kubilius stated, after Putin's meeting with Trump, it was Lavrov who publicly crossed out all of Putin's promises. So, does that mean that Putin himself is just a puppet and others are running Russia?
Is Lavrov really the one running Russia right now? Well, at the very least, he's definitely their main newsmaker right now, though he's not doing such a great job at it.
This meeting is really going to have an agenda. A presidential agenda.
So that's a big if. There's no meeting planned, Mr. Foreign Minister.
Just imagine, he's the foreign minister, but the English-speaking host can't understand his English at all.
Kristen, I am awfully sorry to say, but you are not listening to me.
Yeah, that's just insane. Just like Lavrov's attempts to blame the armed forces of Ukraine.
You are suggesting that these are indeed Nazi tendencies. Well, it is being asserted that the actions and behaviors exhibited by the Ukrainian armed forces are, in fact, acting in a manner even more egregious and reprehensible than the most brutal and ruthless killers under Hitler's command.
I'm just curious, is this Lavrov playing to the crowd for Putin's sake, or has he actually developed presidential ambitions? Write in the comments what you think. It'll be very interesting to read your thoughts.
In this case, I want to emphasize once again, we have never talked about simply needing to seize any territories. Neither Crimea, nor Donbas, nor Novorossiya as territories have ever been our goal.
Well, of course, it's all just a coincidence. And by the way, according to Lavrov, security guarantees for Ukraine should be provided by Russia and China. Are they all high or something in their bunker? I don't get it.
Security guarantees that would involve all permanent members of the UN Security Council, meaning the Russian Federation and the People's Republic of China as well.
By the way, it also seems like Lavrov has started his own PR campaign. The thing is, he was telling Russian propaganda why he showed up in Alaska wearing a sweater with USSR written on it.
They blew it up into a sensation. There's nothing unusual about it. We have a lot of products that reproduce Soviet symbols, and I don't see anything shameful about that.
Well, of course, nothing shameful about it. It's just that you represent a terrorist state and you walk around in a sweater with the name of a country that doesn't even exist anymore. Yeah, sure, it's all normal, just an ordinary thing. Yeah, it's coming soon.